Okay, so this is question 3 of the ChatGPT test. And this should be a part of the playlist, so if this is your first video, please check out questions 1 and 2 beforehand. So what event directly led to the intolerable acts? Intolerable acts. Okay, I know at this point in the American Revolution, acts are laws that Britain is passing against the American colonies, predominantly. Now, of course, Britain was passing laws for other parts of the colonies, but if you're in an American history class or you're a student in America, as far as you're concerned, they're only passing laws on the American colonies. So what event directly led to the Intolerable Act? So X led to the Intolerable Acts. Now, this is a ChatGPT generated test. It's supposed to be high school level. It's actually a 5th grade question as well. This is something you can memorize, look at the back of a textbook, and create flashcards for. I would say that's actually a 5th grader could do that. So I need to think, if I don't know what the intolerable acts are, I need to use historical thinking and reasoning to rule out wrong answers and negotiate my way to the correct answer. So let's try it out. So what event directly led to the intolerable acts? Let's check it out. The Stamp Act protest, the Battle of Bunker Hill, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, the Boston Tea Party. Okay, the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Using my historical analysis, I would think, well, why would they pass laws against the colonies after they declared independence? If I know anything about the American Revolution, by the time the Declaration of Independence is signed, the colonies are now independent free states. And they are no longer under British rule. So I would write no longer under British rule. So why would Parliament pass laws on free states that are independent? Also, what makes British Parliament think that the colonies would care? In fact, we know that the Battle of Bunker Hill was 1775 and that the fighting had already taken place by the time it had hit July 4th, 1776. So I'm going to assume that this is the least likely of answers. Okay, the Boston Tea Party, the Battle of Bunker Hill, the Stamp Act protest. Well, I would say these two kind of go hand in hand. Even if I don't know when the Battle of Bunker Hill is, I can just imagine that at this point the war has popped off. And if we recall back to our first question, and if you did not see this, please watch. We know that the 1763 was a reform effort. By 1776, the revolution was underway. But historians and a basic timeline could read that 1774 was really a boiling point, or the point of no return, as I have it labeled here. And by 1775, the first battle took place. The Battle of Lexington and Concord. So I don't know why Britain would keep passing laws when they're in a state of war. So I'm going to rule that out as well. Okay, the Stamp Act protest and the Boston Tea Party. Now I could see why the laws were passed after the protest. Perhaps they became violent. Perhaps they harassed tax collectors. Perhaps they showed just general defiance, which is all true. But we also have the Boston Tea Party. Now, what was more likely considered an act of aggression by Britain? Protests, which again can be constitutional. So this says the Stamp Act protest, but it didn't say the Stamp Act protests and attacks. It just said protests. Now, protesting is protected under the British rights system. So the colonists did have the right to protest. So this is a British right. What makes that different from the Boston Tea Party? Well, they had no right to throw tea into the harbor. So tea into the harbor is not a right. So if I had to guess what led to the acts, what was worse from the British perspective? So really take on that role. What is the British perspective at this point? What is more likely to aggravate the Crown or Parliament? Throwing tea into the harbor, thus losing money, or the Stamp Act protests, which protests are a legal right? I'm going to assume it was the Boston Tea Party, which is not protected under the ancient British rights, or the Magna Carta. Okay, so this is a ChatGPT generated test. It's a multiple choice. I would tell you now that it says it's supposed to be at the high school level, but I'm here to tell you that it is really at the 5th grade level, and ChatGPT will not save you on test day, but I can. So please check out Level Up Test Prep, click subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this, like it, put something in the comment about something you learned, and check out my website for more content, tutoring, and essays.